Well, welcome back to my studio today. I'm working on a painting of Tuscany. San Gimignano is in the background. I have shown you the basic plan that's sketched up on my canvas. I sketched it up in a mixture of what I call mud. It's 2 parts ultramarine blue and 1 part alizarin crimson. And I mix that with liquid original to make a thin oil wash that then I've drawn up the basic plan. The red area is going to be a poppy field, and that's washed in with magenta plus liquid original and alizarin crimson plus magenta plus liquid original, alizarin crimson plus liquid original. So anyway, now I'm going to start with my sky, and I'm showing you my mixtures for my sky colors. This is a mixture of white plus phthalo blue plus a tiny, tiny bit of orange. This is white plus phthalo blue. This is 2 shades of white plus cobalt blue. One mixture has more white in it, so it makes it lighter. But those will be the mixtures I'll be using for the sky. Okay, let's get to painting. Now I've got the camera's at an angle to my canvas. You can tell if you look at the top of the frame, but that's the only way I can photograph or video this while I'm painting, so that if I had it directly behind me, then you wouldn't be able to see the canvas. So I am starting to work on the sky. Get all my stuff here together. And anyway, I start, since the light is coming into the painting from the left, so that side of the sky will be lighter and warmer. So I'm using that white plus phthalo blue plus a little tiny bit of cadmium orange, which just gives a little warmth to that color. And to be careful, my initial drawing is still, I just washed that in, so it's still a little bit wet. Now that'll be dry when I let that dry overnight, but I'm going to go ahead and get my sky in. So the light's coming in, like I say, from the left-hand side. I just start kind of crisscrossing my brush strokes so I get a good coverage, fills in all the little impressions in the canvas, so I don't have any little white dots. Then I start going to my phthalo blue plus white. It's a little bit darker. And the sky also, as it comes up to the top, gets a little bit darker, so I use this mixture. There, let me bring in some of my lighter color here. Now I tape off my canvas. I use a contemporary gallery wrap canvas that I paint the edges with white to make it a self frame, and then I just tape that off. But then I can, when I'm done with the painting, then I just pull the tape off and voila, it's instantly framed. So I don't have to worry about purchasing heavy frames. It makes the paintings light and easy to ship. But again, I just crisscross my brush strokes, and as I'm moving across, I kind of just feather the color over into each other. So there's not a totally smooth transition, but you can see the color as it mixes across, but it feathers in. I guess that's a good way to put it. I'm not quite sure of the right term. As I come behind my buildings and stuff, I want this blue to be a little darker. I'm not putting clouds in the sky because there's so much activity throughout the painting with all the vineyards and everything on the hills that it's going to be so busy. I'm going to leave the sky a little more plain, but I want it dark enough that the towers of San Gimignano will show. The highlights on the towers will show. So now I'm switching to my cobalt blue plus white. And again, I start feathering this into the phthalo blue plus white. I'm getting a little thick, so I can take my palette knife and just scrape that off. And that'll give me, I can just, again, work that paint together. It gives me a nice transition here. You can always, the nice thing about oil painting is you can always scrape off the paint and start over. And this blue will give me a dark enough background that the light hitting those towers is going to glow. Now I'm at my darkest mixture, not a whole lot darker, but it's a little bit. And again, with light coming in from the left, the sky is going to be darker on the right side. This is called a bright brush. It has a square end, and I can use the broad side of it to make big brush strokes, or if I want to be a little more fine with my stroke, I can use the corner and just work around the towers. I'm going to switch to a little bit smaller brush. Work around those towers and swish this brush out. I use a lot of toilet tissue. The secret to clean, crisp colors on your palette is a clean brush. So I wash my brush out very often and just wipe it out with the toilet tissue. And this is the cheapest toilet tissue you can get at my grocery store. As Jack always used to say, not fit for human use, but it's great for painting. So now I'm going to use my maul stick. This hooks over the top of my easel, and I can just rest my hand, my wrist on that, and I can paint around the fine detail. And that just steadies my hand as I paint. So you can see, again, this is also a bright brush, but I can just use that corner of the brush to work around the fine detail. And that's how I work around. I'll work around all these towers and as I move over this way, then I'll start using the phthalo blue mixture. But that shows you then how I paint in the sky. And I'll show you then a photograph as it's completely painted. I'm not going to video the rest of while I work around the rest of all these little details. But thank you for watching today. Please visit my blog. The link is in the description below, and you can also sign up for my blog to receive an email every time I make a post. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and happy painting.